So I saw a review on these on Blue Tile, and I like the look of them. And basically, this is the New Balance Numeric 480, and it's a collaboration between New Balance, Jeremy Frisch, and 303 boards. And on the box, it's got a sort of nice presentation. It's one of the things that I kind of looked at and I thought, oh, it's really cool. And Jeremy Fish has done a lot of the illustration and artwork, and he's basically the an artist and illustrator, and does sort of murals and stuff. So it's I've seen some of the artwork as part of the sort of looking into more of who he is, and it just looks really cool. And you can probably see that on the box as well. And basically, when I open the box up, it's got little sort of designs on the inside as well, sort of coming from that. And basically, more of sort of Jeremy Fish's sort of artwork is on the shoe bag, which is really cool, and that's a nice extra to have in there, I think. And 303 boards, as far as I know, they're basically a skate shop in Denver, as from what I believe. And this is basically the shoes. So to be honest, I wasn't really interested in the standard 480. Reason being is it's not really sort of appeals to me. However, this particular colorway, and if I'm honest, being a bit of a hype beast, this particular collab, it looks really nice to me. Like the way they've done the design and the amount of sort of artwork and stuff like that that's on here. So that's why I was sort of interested in it. And basically, the sneaker itself is one of those ones where it's just, like I said, just got cool sort of art design on it. And it's one of those things where I kind of looked at the overall package of what you get in terms of the box and the shoe bag, and it just sort of appealed to me, really. And basically, the sneaker itself is kind of a brown and pink colorway, so you can sort of see that on here, and it's got this sort of tan, sort of light brownish sort of color going on as well, around sort of medial and lateral side on the heel side of the sneaker. And that kind of sets it off quite nicely, in my opinion. It works really well with the rest of the sneaker. And this also has a fuel cell midsole, so as you can sort of see, it's not like the soft, squishy kind. And it's basically says it's on here. I'm guessing this is some sort of TPU plate that they've got in here, or to kind of help with sort of rebound and impact protection, and sort of to stop the sneaker from twisting as well. And apparently, from what I saw online, and not 100% on this, but it says it's got an endurance outsole, which basically means that it should last a bit longer than sort of a standard outsole, standard sort of rubber compound. So you got that on here, and so it should work quite well. And because it's a sort of skate shoe, it's got a reinforced toe box, so this stitching should be a lot more robust than a sort of standard pair of sneakers for skating. And it's made up of all leather and suede materials, as you can see here. Most of this is sort of leather. You've got a little bit of canvas here, and the majority of this is sort of suede, and also on the N logo. And the price for this is was £95, which I think is really reasonable for what you get. So with the comfort, I think they're, in my opinion, they're on the firm side. So when I was sort of wearing them, I just felt like it's not one of those sort of sneakers that feels plush. And I was trying to sort of figure out where this sort of falls in line. It's a bit sort of tight on foot, which you'd expect from a sort of skate sneaker, because it's supposed to have sort of lock down and keep you in place. But at the same time, it's not as comfortable as a SB Dunk, in my opinion. And I think once you sort of break these in, they will feel nicer, in my opinion. But initially, they feel sort of quite tight, especially around the sort of forefoot area. And I also found it sort of a bit kind of painful here, and I think that's mainly due to the sort of inner lining. The kind of arch support that you got in here is basically, because it's going upwards, I think it kind of pushes your foot this side a bit more, and that's what the pressure is. I'm sure that sort of subsides after a while, but obviously I've not worn them that much to kind of sort of see whether that will sort of settle down or not. And I think for skateboarding, similar to a Dunk, it's got sort of a very sort of flat outsole and midsole itself, so you sit sort of quite sort of low to the ground. And like I said earlier, it does have really good arch support, probably a bit too good, because it kind of pushes your foot slightly tilted this way, so like I said, it put pressure. For me, it's pressure's got there. And I'd recommend sort of 5 to 12 hours for these, because I've been wearing them, and because of all the sort of pressure points I was getting, I think, you know, you need a bit more time to break in, and I think most skate shoes are kind of like that anyway. And even though this doesn't have as thicker padding as, say, an SB Dunk, as you can sort of see here, it's still pretty thick, and the leather feels sort of nice and sort of robust in terms of its quality as well. And I went up half a size because I sort of saw online that some people were saying these fit quite tight, and I'm kind of glad I did. I think if I didn't, my toe probably would come right the way up to here, and so I went up a half a size. But I do have a wide foot, and that's probably why I'm experiencing the tightness as well. And I think the traction is really great as well, so it's kind of similar to sort of almost like a herringbone traction pattern, so you can sort of see here, and it works well in my opinion, and I didn't have any issues, and you can sort of see that it's quite sort of sticky as well. So with the look and style, I do like the brown and pink colorway on this. It looks really cool, and that's what attracted me to the sneaker, and also like this Dubre that they've got going on here. And the other thing that they've got as well is the insoles themselves. They've got some nice sort of artwork on there as well, which is not normally something that you don't see. And also the insole is quite plush, and seems to have sort of pressure points on the, because they're quite sort of contoured as well. You probably can't see that very well, but they're sort of contoured at the front and at the back, almost kind of similar to like an airbag sort of feel to it, but obviously it's not. It's just more sort of contoured in terms of its shape. But it's a cool insole though, and it's quite sort of thick as well, that's what's probably giving you most of the comfort. And these can be sort of worn all seasons in my opinion. It's one of those sneakers that I think is sort of quite robust and can be worn during the summer, and also during springtime, but also autumn winter will be fine as well, because it's made of like pretty much a leather material. And also I think they can be worn sort of casual and smart, because of the fact that they're a New Balance, and New Balance is usually sort of more geared towards the older crowd anyway, but obviously this is a skate shoe and sort of aiming more for I suppose, younger audience as well. And basically it comes with these brown laces. They're waxed as well, which is really nice, and kind of basically should be more sort of robust and last a bit longer and just feel a bit more premium. But you also get the pink ones as well, but there's no reasons why you wouldn't be able to put like a pair of cream ones in there, or like a tan pair in there as well, which will go well with this. So with the final thoughts, I like the colour palette. That's what drawn me to it, and also the designs. So the kind of, like you can see, like it's got some embossed artwork on the heel, and on both sides of the sneaker it's the same. And then you've also got this embroidery going on, you know, on the ankle collar, which you won't see that much, but also kind of like this furry suede, which is more sort of rabbit-like texture, I suppose. And I do like the sort of custom insoles as well. They're quite cool, you know. It's just nice to sort of have something with a bit of artwork on it. And the box presentation is really cool as well, and adds to the overall package. And also the extra shoe bag that you get as well, that's really cool as well. That's a nice sort of touch that they put that in there. And in terms of cons, I think the comfort, I think for me, I was expecting a bit more. Being a New Balance sneaker, I was expecting to be more comfortable, but I'm guessing it's probably because you need to sort of break them in a bit. I think once they sort of break in a bit, they should be really nice, but initially they don't have too much comfortability. And like I said earlier, you get tightness around the forefoot. I do have a wide foot, so that does kind of contribute towards that, but initially, you know, it would just take a bit of time to break in, and you might sort of feel like they're a bit uncomfortable. So in terms of the ratings, I think the look and style for this particular pair is a 5 out of 5, because of the fact that it's got sort of nice design touches on it, and also like the colour palette. I'm probably not that much of a fan of the silhouette, and it does look very much like a Nike Dunk in my opinion, but it's one of those ones where I think, you know, I wasn't really going to look at picking up a standard GR version, and one of those I probably, you know, just on initial sort of looks, I'd probably give 3 out of 5, but this one I think it's just more elevated and it just looks cooler really, and I kind of like the mature sort of colorway on this as well. And with the comfort, I give that 3. Reason being is it's one of those ones where you kind of look at the trainer and it's just not very comfortable compared to, say, an SB Dunk. I'm not saying that's premium comfort, but that still feels a bit more comfortable than this. And this sits somewhere sort of in between a standard Dunk and an SB Dunk, so it's not as bad as a standard Dunk, but not as nice as an SB Dunk. And the quality, I give that a 4. So it's really nice quality in terms of the leather materials and things like that. But it's just, I think, you know, in terms of the tech that you get in there is not that much. And obviously for a skate shoe, you don't expect too much anyway. But at the same time, it's, you know, it's not the same as an SB Dunk. And with the pricing, I give that a 5 out of 5. I think for £95, you can't really go wrong. It's a good price for this pair of trainers, especially being a collab and the extras that you get with the laces and the Dubray, and you know, the box itself and the shoe bag. It's just a nice presentation all in all. And then that's the reason overall I give it a 4 out of 5. I think my sort of main gripe on this particular pair is the comfort, but the looks and the style of it is really cool. But I do, saying that, you know, with regards to comfort, I'm sure like once you sort of break them in, they will become a lot nicer on foot. But it's just sort of going through that initial pain. And sometimes it happens with SB Dunks as well. They don't feel sort of comfortable straight out of the box, and sometimes you get certain pairs that feel more comfortable than others, and that's kind of just the way things are. But overall, still cool, nice looking shoe, and I do like it.